we're live. It's Sam and Michael. We're looking at the MOOC, amongst other things. So basically, the MOOC starts to heat up next week. So I'm going through like this is the setup. We've got the week -1, which there is some pressure to get rid of, but to be honest, in terms of it giving us extra time to get stuff ready, I quite like it. So there you go. The things that you might be more interested in are, one, there is updating the pair programming on air thing. I think this is basically okay. It maybe just needs some screenshots updating. So we've got, like this link here, create a project for CS169. I guess, yeah, I just created a Hangouts. For, that's funny, like, I guess we've got this, that's funny though, actually, because, yeah, we've got the CS169, but for some reason, the ESaaS MOOC project has gone to, where I started this Hangout, has gone to GitHub, and I guess that's like a hanging, like it there, but that I thought that was, so I'm pretty, had a regex set up before that if like ESaaS appeared in the title, then it was put it there. But I thought we removed that, so I'm a little bit confused by that. But I guess it's not worth getting too distracted by it. And anyway, the pair programming stuff doesn't start for a little while, so that's, I can go through that and check the screenshots myself. So I think these pages are basically in the right setup. I've got the new syllabus dates in there. What I've just, I think, pretty much agreed with edX is for this to be a self-paced, to be an instructor-paced course. They were keen for it to be a self-paced course.
Okay, but
what I hadn't realized for their self-paced is that they mean all of the materials become immediately available on day one, which we're just not. I mean, we could do that, but then, we could do that, and then people, in terms of us, from my point of view, I personally, and I think the other DAs can't find it difficult to cope with, what's the word, like error and errata and stuff coming in from like every single week. Like, so in terms of, we want to kind of go through a week, deal with the errata for that, and then move on to the next one, rather than making, someone who wants to run ahead fast to get ahead of us. It's just unmanageable. But so what I've said, well, again, it doesn't, I mean, we've got these, and I think you may be at least tangentially interested in this because, getting the question that we have is about, for the, how much grade, how much level of requirement to put on the pairing this time around. So we've got some old standing things, which are like that. Basically, the edX graders only take your most recent score, not your highest score. So pretty much every run of the MOOC, some people submit something late. That's right. They submit something on time. They get their 100 points. Then, they've got this, like, these penalties coming later. And so they just, like, for fun, like, I make a change. I want to see if that works. They resubmit it the week after. They end up getting a smaller number of points because it's now late and it's taking the last grade, and then they're all upset. So one thing we could conceivably do is just remove all the late penalties so that you can submit the assignment anytime, which, to be honest, why not? I mean, the only argument for having these late penalties is that somehow that increases the number of people who are going through, somehow incentivizes people to get stuff done. I don't know that we have any evidence that that's the case. But yeah, that's stuff to work out. I don't know if you have any opinion on that either way.
Not really, no.
No, okay. Well, thanks for listening. But yeah, so the more technical bit, which is this, about to go live for week 1, which I keep losing, is this week 1. So we've kind of basically said, forget the VMs, use C9. Have you used C9 at all?
No.
No.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Cloudnine, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing we do is we say to get set up with a C9 account. Do you want to be a guinea pig here and go through the process of setting up a C9 account?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, how do you do this?
Well, so there's a link here to the C9, so you can just go to the c9.io. So we've
free.
Say again.
This is free.
Yeah, there's a free tier.
Okay.
Sign up. So that's yeah, and you could say although probably easier rather than is if you just click back, they've got it very, very small. If you go back to the previous page, there's a GitHub thing. So I mean, we've also got we've got this Google site which has got various things, and we've got a link to our VMware instructions, which used to have all the stuff about please create an account before signing in with GitHub or Bitbucket. That's interesting. I thought that you would just be able to create it straight off having GitHub. That's weird.
That's interesting, I guess.
If you click the sign up, maybe they want an account. That's interesting. Huh. I mean, we have then in this kind of nested thing, we've got now in the wiki for the SaaS MOOC courseware, we've got, Cloudnine is the recommended fast way to get started, blah, blah, blah. Free account is sufficient for doing the course homeworks and small projects. Okay. Create and log into a free account on Cloudnine. Select create a workspace. Pro tip, if you don't already have a free account on GitHub, create that first, since you'll need one anyway, and you can then use your existing GitHub account credentials to log into Cloudnine. So maybe you have to create a free account on Cloudnine, and then you can kind of connect it to GitHub.
Okay, so I just did that. I created.
Okay, so that was relatively straightforward then. So now, the instructions we've got here, the Cloudnine. So click create a new workspace. Yeah, so what he says is workspace name and description, whatever you like. You could say that was like for ESaaS MOOC, or it's going to be. What is it now? We're now agile development using Ruby on Rails. So it's ADROR is the name of the course now, or whatever. So then private or public, your choice, and then clone from Git or Mercurial, leave blank, and then it says choose a template, and it says choose the custom template.
There's nothing.
There's no custom. I guess it's going to be blank.
Is that blank?
I guess so. Let's try. Well, what is it? Oh, that's interesting.
There's a Ruby.
Yeah, and I would have thought that might be our better bet. I mean,
blank.
I would have. Let's see go with the Ruby on Rails and see what versions it installs. So they haven't got a custom one anymore.
So it's asking me to choose an editor and a theme and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's basically set up a basic Rails app for you, which we don't really want. I would close that workspace and let's try and create another. Create for. Yeah, there's no. Okay, so the templates are now right. Yeah, create a blank one instead, I guess.
How do I shut this down?
I think you can just close that. Can you click on like the Cloudnine in the corner and then go to your dashboard?
It says quit. Oh, go to your dashboard. How do I delete this?
I don't know. I think you can leave it there until you don't need it. I mean, we might still use it. Let's have a look at what the blank one does. Right, blank. Okay. Now what I'm thinking is maybe the approach to go. It's better to just get them start, like, rather than trying to, I don't know, the downloading like pre-installing loads of stuff seemed to just create problems as far as I was concerned.
So you guys aren't doing the VM anymore, or are you still?
Well, the VM hasn't been updated, and yeah, I mean, so no, this is now the recommended approach for the whole thing. I found the process of trying to update the VM and keep it up to date just like extraordinarily time consuming, and it seems that I think Amanda didn't want to throw any resources into it, and then for his own class as well. We've just gone all night. But so he kind of what he did. He's got like a script that in his instruction set. I mean, this is the after a couple of links, you get through to like a wiki page here.
There's a Git.
Mm-hmm.
Git's installed. Yeah,
Git's installed already. So he's got this like a command here that I don't know is necessarily that one would want to use. I mean, you could try, but the question to answer sort of is like, what actually are the requirements? Actually, just so, for example, is Ruby installed there? Can you see what version of Ruby is installed? If Ruby is installed.
2.3 LPL.
3 is installed, which we should ideally be on, and we should be trying to upgrade to. But so I guess Rails probably won't be installed, but it can be. I'm thinking that the sensible way to go is to just ask the user to start a blank one, and so it's then this workspace would be used for dealing with the homework assignment. So for example, you'd want to do git like clone. If we looked at the first Ruby assignment that people are going to have, I put the link in the chat for you, but I guess the interesting thing about this, if we've got a pull request is in with Ruby intro, somebody. All right, someone's actually done the assignment. Sorry.
Okay.
So, well, did that git clone there and it's crashed? What's that weird?
I just did something that was stupid.
Oh, it's created Go script rather than git status. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So.
Yeah. So we've got so that could be. I guess if you run, can you run rspec there? Well, I think just run rspec, not the R. Yeah. So
there's no bundle file for that.
No. Right? I mean, I feel like what we want here is we want a gem file associated with this, the homework. So it's sort of standalone, so that it seems to me slightly odd to have, you know, like what Armando's got set up. He's got a thing here to kind of install Heroku Toolbelt and, you know, a particular version of Ruby and so on, and then certain gems. And it just, that seems like, you know, we should specify in the homeworks what their requirements are, so that they become kind of standalone. So what we could, I mean, what we could do there is, do you want to create a gem file there in the workspace? Like, you've cloned down the main SaaS book homework Ruby intro there, I guess. So one thing there, actually, if you want to create a gem file, you can do bundle init, or you can do, if you do gem install bundle and then bundle init, it will create a gem file with the right thing at the top of it. So if you quit out of there,
Bundle init.
right, but you'll need to do gem install bundler first. I don't think it's in quotes. Maybe it doesn't matter. It didn't. Yeah, interesting. But bundle init there, and so now in the gem file, yeah. So, you know, you could delete the comments, and where it's got gem rails, you could replace that with gem rspec. And then you could run rspec. There we go. Yeah. And so that's basically the assignment, and then the assignment could be fixed. So I guess what I'm tempted to do there is maybe just create the file directly in the. So, you just want to show me your the gem file that you created as it was? Just open it in the editor there. Or so it's
First quote.
Source and then HTTPS. Ruby gems. rubygems.org. And then we've got rspec is the thing here. Commit new file. Okay. So I've now got a gem. Do you want to just try blowing away your that H homework Ruby intro directory, and then just try cloning again and see like the steps here. And I guess there's a so if you're now in there, yeah, and it's a, you can always just type bundle, you don't need the install, and then rspec. Yeah. See, I mean, I would say that's the way for people to get started myself.
No.
And I guess I'm just going to make the executive decision to come in here. I mean, I really thought to. I used to love wikis, and now I just sort of feel like, you know, if people are serious about making changes, they should be doing it through pull requests. But anyway, so I'm tempted to remove. And see, then if I remove this text here, I mean, the wiki is I guess is in principal version, but do we have a mechanism to see the history from the environment there? No. I guess I will just create a random thing to save that. This is an Armando old C9 instructions. Okay. So let's Okay, yeah, there we go. So then we've got finally set up a public SSH key pair in your Cloudnine and add those keys to GitHub. It's an interesting, there's a sort of choice here about all these things. Do you want to get students doing all this stuff in advance and they don't know why and they fail on it, or should you be asking them to do it at the point at which it becomes necessary? Anyway, so it was now so it's blank workspace.
Yeah.
That we're asking them to do. Should we just try and what is this? SSH, set up a public SSH key pair. Okay. Well, I guess if that's with, they don't even need that for quite a long time. But so if we look at some of the other assignments, the Ruby intro assignment, if we go into Ruby intro, let's search. Should we just, there's Ruby intro. Oh, little Ruby intro CI, HW, it's HW Ruby. HW Ruby. Do we not have? Okay, so the Ruby kernel Linux was never ported over. Oh, it's the Sinatra one that's next. Okay. That one. Do you want to try? So this one has a gem file. Do you want to try pulling this one in?
Pulling which one in?
I just posted you a link into the group chat. This is the.
When you say pull this in, what do you mean?
I mean, do git clone. Okay, right. And so at the moment, yeah, we have the Sinatra one is locked to Ruby 2.2.2 from its gem file.
And it tells me install RVM Ruby 2.2.2.
Yeah, I mean, I would say rather than doing that, it would be more what I would like to try and do is get us all onto 2.3 if possible. So I'm tempted in there just to go in and fix that to Ruby 2.3, and then I wonder if we bundled it now. So I haven't got bundle installed. So what is it? Gem install bundler.
Oh, you're just changing it in your Cloudnine.
Yeah. I mean, there's kind of a let's see what's the Ruby stable. So Ruby 2.31 released. What's the version about? I guess Ruby 2.2 is still support. I think there's like Ruby 2.1.9 released. I guess those are bug fixes on 2.1. So I guess that the questions that I need to resolve, not necessarily so interesting for you, but so it's like try to run MOOC on Ruby 2.3, and yeah, I guess that the action is like need to run through all assignments for that. I guess I want to. There's little notes in there. I would put like add specified Ruby version to what is it called? HW Ruby intro. I guess you never did the Sinatra assignment.
Probably not.
Oh, I think I kind of started it with Raoul. I mean, I have some reservations. I think it's great that there's Sinatra in there, but like the way that it's like taking like a really simple, beautiful thing and then covering it in like 8 layers of crud. But Anyway, but yeah, so it definitely seems like. So that's one of the. I then guess there's. What have I just done with it? So have I now? If I've got that running, that's the Cloudnine README. In order to run the Sinatra app, I mean, I've just installed it with 2.3. Have you run? You installed it as well?
No.
Ah, I guess the interesting question is just can one. I know there's a whole series of instructions going through there for that. It told us to create a config.re. Oh, it has there, yeah. Okay. And that's Control O, Control X. The stability of Cloudnine has really improved, I think. Cannot load such file app. Am I in the wrong directory? Yes. And to move the config.ru that I created and put it in there. It cannot load such file Sinatra base. So I think it's funny. I ran bundle, I guess, in a higher level, and it maybe didn't do. I thought it had installed. Oh, that's interesting. Like I ran. No, I did run bundle there, and I'm running it again, and it seems to need to install some other stuff. But somehow I ended up in a different. Like bundle ran there, and then it ended up dumping me into a lower. I guess what happened there was that the window reset. Anyway, so the other thing, just to test it, would be to see it like loses a connection to the file, and then maybe the bundles hasn't finished install. Okay, so the other thing to do here would be to look at that. It's sort of logged me out of, and it's back in there. Foreground jobs. Interesting. I wonder if we have to do. I've never seen that before actually in Cloudnine. We do bundle there and run it in the background, then maybe it will actually complete. I've got three of them running in parallel. So I guess the other thing, I mean, at some point, if you were interested, we could like pair program on doing the Sinatra assignment, which maybe you wouldn't be interested in doing. And there probably isn't. It probably isn't something to start right this second. I was thinking the other thing that we might just check here now is like clone the. Do you want to do git clone on the? Oh yes, and actually the Rails assignment. This Rails intro. Does it not? Oh, it tells us to. Oh, okay. There's a separate repo called Rotten Potatoes Rails intro that we are instructed to fork. Well, and you want to clone this into yours and see if adjust it to 2.3 and just see if it can be run.
Okay.
This is the first time you've seen the C9 interface, or you used it before? No, you shouldn't need to create a new workspace per se. You can just stay with the existing blank one that you created. I would drop down to run directory. Yeah. So just change the gem file. Yeah, so it's 2.3. And then what's the latest stable version of Rails? They've released release candidate 1 of Rails 5 has come out.
Really? I think that was released like a while ago.
May 6th. It says 2 weeks. Releases. Okay, 4.2.6 is the latest Rails one there. So that one, if you go inside the
why did it kick me back out to the workspace?
Yeah, I think that it's interesting there. Like, so now, but so if you just run Rails S there, don't worry about running the test or anything that comes in. See, I think that I think you might have to do bundle and I think it
that
just a single ampersand. Yeah. I don't know, or at least, yeah, mine's, does it log me out again now? Certainly. Actually installed Sinatra, it has, okay. Or and rack up. Seeing rack up in there. Weird. Now server. Where's the Sinatra gone? Do you think that has that got further now that it's
yes.
with the app? I mean, mine did also log out again as well. I was looking in the. I wonder if there is some benefit of the approach that Armando. I guess he's doing this curl operation. Is piping the result of having run that script, and the script runs through bash. I don't know if we end up with all of these background. Initialize constant. What did I just do? Config.ru, my app.
Looks like I lost connection. Yeah. Installing PJ. Or it was actually installing, well, I don't know. It was installing
person. I wonder if I've discovered like is this the basic flaw that everybody was saying run my app, and it's actually called hang person app? Or is that I'm gonna have to go through the whole Sinatra. Run it like this. Okay, yeah. So I don't know if you've seen it, that this is, you might be at least superficially interested. So having run like Sinatra or running Rackup and it's using Sinatra, you've got this little thing on C9 that you have to you've got to pass in these environment variables, and then you get this little pop-up here that it shows you the thing, running on like it creates a little endpoint for you to play with
Right.
in the cloud, which is kind of quite nice. Yes. Okay. But anyway, at least I'm seeing there that I've got Sinatra working on 2.3, and that makes me tempted to kind of try and get it all working onto it. Can you run Rails S on your one there? And does the Rails?
Oh, wow. Let me say.
I think you want to be in rotten potatoes.
No.
If you do can you do bundle exec Rails S? I guess it's just Rails hasn't installed yet. Yeah. And if you do gem list, scroll up, I guess we see like RSpec and things. It's got Rails standard out logging Rails. Yeah, I guess it hasn't finished installing. Maybe it will just carry on running in the background.
Well,
anyway,
it disconnected.
It disconnects, yes. Although if you've done bundle and, which has put it into the background, in principle it will still run in the background. Just taking,
Is it disconnect just because it takes a long time, I guess?
I guess so. I guess there's that's just an aspect of what Cloudnine is doing. I mean, I've seen it do that. I think if you're like just working at the command line and doing various stuff or whatever, it tends to stick around. If you're sort of leaving it and it's not doing very much. But yeah, so I think probably
it was. I think it was on like no Cohery or something, but
yeah, I think that's just one that takes a chunk of time to install. Yeah. So yes, well, sorry that wasn't such an interestingly sparkling, exciting thing to work on, but I think that's helped get this setup page for people into a better state.
Right.
And I think it's the way to go is to try and get us onto the latest version of Ruby, because the danger is, the longer that you leave it, the more pain it is when you take bigger chunks of upgrades. So my plan over the next few weeks of the course is to do all of the assignments again and do all of them on Cloudnine and try and get them sorted so that they actually kind of connect with things that we would like the students to be learning, rather than being I don't know. I feel like the assignments are kind of a bit higgledy-piggledy, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thanks for joining me for that. Yeah. So I think I'm probably going to have lunch, and then it'll be the I've forgotten what it's called, All Graders meeting, and then but maybe we can do some Website 1 stuff after that if you're still free.
Sounds good.
Nice one. All right. Thanks, Michael. Bye for now.